Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of Soulfully Guided. I am your host, Carmel-Anne. So we are doing, for anyone that's tuning in for the first time, we've done we're doing a six-part series on drug addiction and looking at different aspects of addiction. And today we'll be talking about mental health after the drug addiction. Last week we spoke about mental health during an addiction. Now, this is based around me and my experience. It might be different for other people, but I was dependent on a substance. So it was a heavy substance addiction. And please excuse me today, I might sound a bit dull. I'm usually a bit brighter, but I'm really exhausted, and it's like the lights on, but nobody's home, or whatever, however that saying goes is. So my brain is not functioning right. But look, I did say we're going to talk about mental health after drug addiction. I'm going to heavily rely on my notes today because my brain is not, even though I know the information, my brain's just not functioning. But stay here. Let us know you're here. Give us if you're watching live or a replay, let us, give us a reaction. Let us know you're here or a comment. Now, I feel that, and throughout this whole series, I've always expressed that there needs to be more information available to people about the correlation or the connection between mental health and drug addiction. I wanted to talk about mental health after addiction because it's such a different space to be in if you're experiencing anyone around you or yourself as a substance user. And I struggled in my mental health for about the last 10 years. It's gotten on top of it the last 2. However, that doesn't mean struggles haven't happened. There's no miraculous cure after we stop drugs. It's like being abstinent is not a cure for mental health or for anyone that has used a substance for addiction, has used a substance to forget a trauma or a childhood event or anything that's really bad that's happened to them. So look, my mental struggles, they started 12 years ago, and I probably wouldn't have had them had I not been a substance user. So the process that I'm talking over 6 weeks, there's so much more to it, and we're just getting the tip, not even the tip of the iceberg. So we look at this, and it's been a long process for me because I want it to be a lasting one. It's taken a long time. There's been lapses, there's been relapses. I've had a heap of therapy, even though I'm very knowledgeable psychologically. It's taken time, and part of ceasing drugs meant that I was in a new space. And after a bit of time, because outside of these sessions like this series, I don't really talk about substances. I don't consider myself a recovered addict. I'm just me without that part of it. However, there are lasting effects of the substance use, and that could be either long-term or short-term, or things which I'll go on to say. But a part of me, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So with the therapy, as time progressed, a part of me realized that I wanted to come forward as a survivor, not as a victim. But what I realized is that because I was a trauma-based user, so for me, my ways of responding, and I don't want to use the word normal here, my ways of responding, I will though, to things and triggers and traumas or general experiences and circumstances in life, they're completely normal for someone that has been through what I've been through. But then when I shifted to non-drug user, or, to a survivor mode, sometimes I'm living in this fight mode that all these intense feelings and that survival mode means that I'm on edge. So I'm learning that, yeah, it's normal for me to respond in that way because of what happened to me. However, it is not healthy in everyday life. And that part of survival, I don't want to be on fight mode or alert mode all the time. Part of survivor mode is shifting away from that and being in a comfortable everyday mode. And that is a huge, intense mental journey and mental health journey that we do take. For me, I cleared my heart, I healed it, I opened it. That meant I had to then raise my standards, because my standard was just taking substances for every single problem or issue or anything that I encountered in my life. So I then learned, to be more respondent to red flags. But what I mean by that is part of the mental health journey after drug abuse or substance abuse and addiction was learning to see red flags and having stronger boundaries and values for myself. And that's not easy to do for everyone. So I healed my heart and strengthened my mind and the mental health journey over a long period of time for me. So I got my head stronger. I've got myself financially together. And the only thing now, I don't want to offend anyone here. This is my perception that I'd like to share with you. The only thing that is holding me back now, that is weak, is my physical body. I'm not comfortable with my weight because it reflects where I was when my mental health was poor. The more poorer my mental health was, the more I used to use a substance. Then it resorted to eating or, other forms, and weight gain through those mental health challenges. So my body is a reflection of my broken self. And over a period of time, and we could be talking 1, maybe 2 years, I'd like to fix that. I'm not embracing my current body weight because at the end of the day, I'm at risk. The weight I gained, which my body's not been used to being this weight, the weight I gained is a health risk. I'm susceptible to diabetes, strokes, and heart attacks. So at the end of that process, getting my heart freed and healing, getting my head together, getting my mental health together, it's taken me about 8 to 10 years. And then getting in a financially good position. Now I'm focusing on my physical health, being more active, and being physically healthy so that I'm sort of balanced across the board. Not putting that pressure on yourself is very important because these things take time and they have stages. So what I wanted to do is once I was able to do that, I also had to walk away from so many, stopped my addiction to be part of a community or more closer to people and, feel like I was part of, loved and part of a family. But sadly, it ended up being that I had to walk away from a lot of people, either because they couldn't see me as anything else but that substance abuser. Some of them, I made them feel better, like they compared their life to mine and thinking, well, we're not as bad as Carmel, and they lost that comparison. Some people just never saw me as the person I was becoming, and I wasn't expecting more mentally when I stopped substances. Some people were really good people that I thought we'd last forever, and either my addiction hurt them too much or my recovery did not fit their lifestyle or their interpretation of me anymore, and raised my standards, and what was once a healthy relationship was no longer. So what I found was, and this is a huge thing, is when we're recovering, everything we experience in our lives is masked or blanketed with a substance abuse, a substance of choice, if you're a heavily addicted person. So no matter what happens, you'll run to that substance. Learning to live and learning to live after drug addiction is like, for me, was like having an adult baby's body and having to relearn everything. So how to face life, how to face every challenge or every good thing or everything. There was nothing to fall back on, and I didn't want to create another addiction to substitute my former addiction. So that's hard when there's not as much as you want air or food or, life. Like that dependency on that substance will take over, and you have to reinvent yourself, and you don't even know your personality. And that's a really hard part of mental health after the substance abuse, because we can always fall and relapse or lapse as we're discovering life without our substance or being able to rely on it, or we can develop other addictions. So, Well, what I wanted to say is that this can affect us all on a smaller or a larger scale. For some people, it can be a lifelong mental health problem after the effects of the drugs. What I do want to say is please be your own advocate. Whether you're a substance abuser or not, you have to defend and stand up for your rights in a healthy way. Find out the help you're entitled to if you're struggling in any small or large capacity. I learned to stand up for myself and I learned to have a voice after substance abuse, and not everyone liked that or not everyone agreed with that. I don't, I'm in a very different space, and I'm not going to punish myself for the addiction I had, and I can understand and sympathize with that version of me. And I think people, if they can be kind to themselves throughout this journey, and if you're struggling with someone that you love that is on this journey, please don't be hard on yourself too, or blame you for anything you have or could have or haven't done. It is a hard journey, and not all of us get out of this story alive. I'm happy with who I am today, and it was not an easy journey. It's taken me almost 8 years to come to this point, and I'm not fully healed. So your mental health matters, whether you're a substance abuser or not. Please take care of yourself. Your mental health matters, and so do you. Thank you for tuning in this week and watching. We'll see you next week for a Q&A on this series. Bye.